season 2003-2004 was a truly historic campaign for Middlesbrough Football Club, as on a never-to-be-forgotten afternoon in Cardiff, Captain Gareth Southgate held the Carling Cup aloft and Borough at last claimed their first major trophy. And the triumph at senior level was mirrored by Borough's up-and-coming stars, as the FA Youth Cup was added to the trophy cabinet and supporters got their first glimpse of the youngsters who would soon be laying claim to a first-team place. By comparison, the Premiership season couldn't match the drama of the Cup run, but there were some great performances to enjoy, most notably in the match of the season, as Juninho inspired the team to a remarkable 3-2 win at Old Trafford. The season began for the Borough at Fulham, and after trying hard to bring in new talent, the only player making his debut was fullback Alan Wright. But the first player to put his mark onto the new campaign was the talented but inconsistent Carlos Marinelli. After the disappointment in London, Steve McLaren made a dramatic breakthrough in the transfer market, as Danny Mills arrived on a season-long loan deal from Leeds United, and then sensationally attracted to the Riverside Gaisca Mendieta, who had been the subject of a £28 million transfer from Valencia to Lazio, but was now prepared to swap Rome for the Borough. Both Mendieta and Mills were introduced to the crowd ahead of the visit of Arsenal, but the new boys and a crowd of just under 30,000 were forced to witness the Gunners take Borough apart.
Opportunity now though for Lundberg. Lundberg gets his shot away, it's a one-handed save, and Arsenal are ahead within 5 minutes. Perez has made an excellent run too. That's all Robert Perez at the moment. Ball's come to the back post, and that's 2-0. Ball into Juninho, nice touch back to bring Nemeth into the play, and well, it was nice interplay on the edge of the penalty area. It was just the final touch from Christie which let things down, but immediately up the other end it's Thierry Henry who's breaking again for Arsenal. Wiltord in the middle. Wiltord now, and it's 3-0. Freddie Lundberg. Lundberg squared the ball, it's gone in the back of the net. Sylvain Wiltord will claim it. Chris Riggott perhaps was there as well with a touch. The one statistic that does matter, it's Arsenal 4, Middlesbrough 0.
The players had little time to reflect on the 4-goal mauling, as it was destination Leicester and a debut for Mendieta.
Both sides, after 2 or 3 passes, are giving it away, are giving the ball back to the opposition. That's both us and Leicester. So we've got to get into a rhythm, we've got to get the foot on the ball.
Now for Mendieta if he wants to have a go. Well, that was nearly a dream start from Gaisca Mendieta after 13 minutes of play here at Leicester City.
With the first point on the board, Borough faced the prospect of the Yorkshire derby against Leeds United, and just ahead of the closure of the transfer window added Dutch international Bolo Zen to the squad on a season-long loan deal from Chelsea. Bolo watched his new side for the first time at the Riverside, and like everyone else was left puzzled by the outcome.
Kelly, Pennant again. Pennant's looked lively in these opening stages. Ball through the middle, and that's the opening goal of the game. Sacco has opened the scoring for Leeds United. We'd said a goal was coming. We rather hoped it wasn't going to be the visitors that scored it first, but the travelling fans celebrate. Southgate into Mendieta. Mendieta's done really well. Mendieta went down. Nemeth has equalised. Gillard Nemeth has poured one back for Middlesbrough. And finally the deadlock is broken and the breakthrough has happened. It was all about Mendieta as well on the edge of the penalty area. Gillard Nemeth with his second goal this season.
That's right. Mendieta done ever so well. Brought down, but the rest is about this guy here. I tell you what, that is a wonderful little turn.
Mendieta to deliver the free kick then. Two players in the middle, Davies and Southgate. The header was out by Kamara as far as Juninho. Oh, that's wonderful. That is fantastic. what a goal! Juninho has put Middlesbrough 2-1 ahead. He's been threatening it all afternoon. What a strike!
Well, I said in the first half, I mean, it's just not happening, but he's got to keep on plugging away, and he'll get his goal. He needed it, and I tell you what, they don't come much better than this. This is an absolute peach. Isaac comes out, just the first touch is great, sets him up, and fires it into the back corner on his weak side. Absolute magnificent goal. The keeper never even smelt it.
Pennant launches it, and the ball is in the back of the net. Leeds United are back on terms, and it's 2 apiece. Pennant's able to bring the ball away though. Davis has slipped, and now Viduka's in, and Viduka's chipped the goalkeeper. And Leeds United have scored an unlikely winner.
So August came to a close with just 1 point from a possible 12, but would September be any better? Sadly, the early signs were not encouraging.
Bolton Wanderers have opened the scoring after 22 minutes of play. Chelios tried the overhead, and that's the second goal. And it's the substitute, Bruno Ngotti, that scored it, and surely now that has secured the 3 points for Bolton Wanderers. And once again, Borough unlocked in a dead ball situation.
Come on, lads! In 19th place and without a win, clearly something had to change. Frank Cadreur would be available for the visit of Everton after completing his mammoth 5-game suspension. There was to be no place in the starting 11 for Juninho. The Samba star was disappointed to be substituted at Bolton, but the player who had taken Juninho's place at the Reebok would be the Riverside hero.
Dobbs continued his run. Christie's getting forward at pace as well. Boateng's ball into Malcolm Christie now. Flag has stayed down, and Christie can cut the ball across. Job, and Job put it in the back of the net. It's the perfect start for Middlesbrough. Joseph Jobb's first goal of the season in less than 6 minutes. Middlesbrough ahead at the Riverside, and that's what Steve McLaren would have wanted, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic goal. Just shows, you know, the strength at the back, the header out from the corner. They've made a great cross-field move. George Boateng's driven into the middle.
Here's the Boateng run.
Yeah, it comes inside, spots a great little ball for Malcolm Christie. Malcolm Christie does well, holds off the defender, gets his ball across, and Joseph Jobbs got in front of the defender. He's made it his, and he's scored the goal.
The Carling Cup would provide the season's most dramatic moments, but the road to Cardiff began with a battle to break down the resistance of 2nd Division Brighton and Hove Albion.
Frank Cadreur was complaining of tiredness after his first game back on Sunday. As the ball comes across, and Christie's put it in the back of the net. Malcolm Christie has finally broken the deadlock following a Jonathan Greening cross. Well, if you talk about players being tired, it's one of the substitutes and the fresh legs that's finally done it. And credit as well to Jonathan Greening.
Yeah, credit to Jonathan Greening. I think he's had a decent game tonight, Jonathan. Good ball played in there. And lets it come across his shoulder, whips a great ball into the near post. He's gambled Christie to get across his defender, and quite an acrobatic flick in the end, and good technique. No chance for the keeper.
Malcolm Christie clearly enjoyed his moment against Brighton and would have another major impact in the next outing at St Mary's.
Flag stays down. Christie will struggle to keep that in play, but he does it really well. Malcolm Christie needs some support in the middle now. Christie's going on his own. Oh yes, it's a wonderful solo goal from Malcolm Christie. And Borough, as they did 6 days ago against Everton, have scored the early goal. Middlesbrough ahead inside 13 minutes at St Mary's. And credit to Malcolm Christie, he never gave up there.
That's a great run by Christie. We're going to see it here. He chases a lost cause, really. I think we thought it was going to go out, but he chased it out there. I think a good run like this turns a game. Confident, sees the opportunity, gets over the ball. It's a great run and finish. really has opened the game up, which has been an entertaining game for both teams so far. But that is a special strike by a striker who will give him such confidence. It's a wonderful strike.
Three successive wins encouraged the belief that the corner had been turned, and certainly the team had the confidence to take on a Chelsea side who had been revitalised by the millions spent from chairman Roman Abramovich.
Frank Hedrug does get his cross in away by Cooper as far as Greening. Now Boateng. Lampard won the ball back, it's Gudjohnsen. And Chelsea are ahead. Eidur Gudjohnsen with his second Premiership goal of the season. Here's Mills. Now Boateng. Boateng eventually found Mendieta with the ball. And now Nemeth through the middle. Yes! Nemeth with the equaliser! And Gerard Nemeth has scored his third goal of the season for Middlesbrough. And what a wonderful, wonderful time to put Borough back in it. The first half saw Chelsea go one up. The second half was barely 30 seconds old. And Borough ahead.
Well, we were looking for an improvement early on in the second half. We didn't expect it to come that quickly. Great start of the second half. Great finish as well by Nemeth. I think it's they've lost a mistake. I think it's not sure who it's by. Well, great ball by Mendieta. He showed a couple of great little flicks and great touches this afternoon, but none better than that. Terrific through ball.
Damien Duff. Downing's the defender. And crosses header. And it's gone into the back of the net. And would you believe it, Chelsea have scored a second in the dying moments of this game. Hernan Crespo has scored the second goal.
The 10th game of the season was a local derby with Newcastle United, and yet again Borough would be left to rue their bad luck at home.
Maybe a chance now for Christie, and the ball's broken to Nemeth. Oh, another good save from Shea Given. Was another opportunity. Mendieta on the turn and away by Bernard. Chance maybe now for Nemeth, and this is Danny Mills, away last weekend with England of course, and it's Mills with the cross in. Mendieta, oh great save! And the follow-up from Dariba, and Shea Gibbons really kept Newcastle in it there.
Oh, that was terrific football all around from both teams. As the ball went out wide, that was a wonderful delivery into the box. Look at Mendieta, what about that for a save? Absolute terrific save. Great little overlap there, Boateng just took the man away, and that's a great ball into the box.
Bernard again now, just got the better of Mendieta, good little move this, and Bailey's ball is just a bit far for Bowyer, but Bowyer does get his cross in this time. Boateng's gone over, and the ball's in the net now, and Newcastle United are ahead in this game, and Shola Amiobi has silenced the home fans.
No side likes to be amongst the bottom three, and so visit to North London called for defensive determination as opposed to attacking flair.
Now a chance maybe to counter-attack. Nemeth goes past one. Balls out to Malcolm Christie, and Christie seems to have just been wrestled over there. Bay's allowed to carry on though with Zenden. Zenden's ball in, it's Boateng. Doesn't score many goals, George Boateng. In fact, hasn't scored for Middlesbrough, apart from in a pre-season friendly.
It looked like a foul there, but he's battled away. The ricochet's fallen for Borough. Boateng's played it out first time to Zenden. Whipped it in with his left foot. Boateng's carried on his run. Can't keep it down.
Here's Gerard Nemeth. Nemeth had a go. Oh, and Keller just had to touch it over the crossbar. Would have been a wonderful goal if Gerard Nemeth had scored it.
Good effort, to be fair.
Focus now switched back to the Carling Cup and a potentially tricky encounter with First Division high flyers Wigan.
Now this is Danny Mills, has some support from Mendieta. Players coming through the middle as well. Macaroni's made a good run. Still Danny Mills, he's had a go. I think it deflected off Macaroni and Borough one up at the JJB. Now Janino has charged that one down really well. Now Gary Walsh, the former Borough keeper, has come to meet Janino, but the Brazilian has got past him. Players trying to get forward in support now. Janino might have to go alone. He's cut it back to Mendieta. His first goal for the club, and Borough are 2-0 ahead. That's Jimmy Bullard off the post and in. Wigan have pulled one back.
Janino was forced to be patient in his bid to reclaim his Premiership starting place, but he made the case for a full recall in a late show that was enough to see off Wolves.
Now you can hear the roar from the Riverside crowd, keen to see their side get what would probably be a decisive goal in this game. Now Mills. And Mills has just rather run into Lee Naylor. And he can't believe it, Danny Mills. It's going to be a free kick and Borough have taken it quickly. Mendieta! Oh, what a goal! What a goal by Gaizka Mendieta! It's 2-2 and Borough ahead. They caught the Wolves defenders napping. It was a quick free kick and it's paid dividends. And it's Janino and the ball eventually has fallen for Zenden. And the ball's still in play. I think some people stopped thinking there was a foul. Zenden's cut it back. Janino! Yes, Janino's added number 2 for Borough. It's a second goal, and it's what those fans deserve, and it's Janino, the substitute, that scored it.
Well, he's lifted the crowd here today when he came on, he's lifted the team, and now he's grabbed the 3 points for Middlesbrough with that cool finish here. Gave Michael Oakes absolutely no chance whatsoever, and I couldn't be more pleased. I looked at his attitude in the game against Wigan when he'd been out the side for a few games, he came back into the side midway, and I thought his attitude was terrific, and he's lifted this game for Middlesbrough today and now won the game for them.
Well, he made the initial run, it was Zenden's cross, and Janino was on the end of it.
Back-to-back wins had Borough in an optimistic mood for the trip to the Villa, and the travelling army had an afternoon to savour in the Midlands.
Zenden's making an excellent run forward. Zenden's there! What a goal! Follow Zenden with his opening goal for Middlesbrough. And Borough one up at Villa Park.
That's great, Michael. What a good goal. I'm well pleased with the build-up. Janino's hit it. He's hit a great ball to Frank Quadru. And Quadru's got right up the line a little bit and whipped a great ball. And Zenden's got in there to put it in the corner. This is tremendous. If you watch the play back here, he's looked up. Zenden. And it's in. Tremendous. That's a great lift for Middlesbrough there. Tremendous.
Well, Bolo Zenden's been close in recent weeks, but he's opened his goal-scoring account. And that will surely do his confidence wonders.
Absolutely superb ball from Frank Quadru. And there's Zenden. Nobody's picked him up.
Hendry has some options ahead of him, but
that's great.
loses out.
That's good. Well played that.
Boateng it was with a challenge, and Boateng's continued his run forward as well. Here's Zenden, and Zenden seems to have been brought down there. It's a penalty kick.
Tremendous. Well done.
Well, the foul was against Lee Hendry as Bolo Zenden went crashing down to earth. Dermot Gallagher's given the penalty kick for this challenge.
Yeah, that's a tremendous. He's changed gear when Hendry came up, and Hendry couldn't get near him, and all of a sudden he's fell over the top of him. And that is a penalty because he restricted Zenden's, movement.
Michael Ricketts with a penalty kick. Ricketts scores. It's his second goal in a Borough shirt. And Michael Ricketts goes over to greet the travelling supporters. Middlesbrough are 2 up at the start of the second half.
It was now 4 games without defeat, but the upbeat mood was tempered by the loss of Malcolm Christie, who broke his leg in a freak training ground incident and would miss the rest of the season. An attacking flair was certainly to minimum in a game of few chances against Liverpool.
Salif Jal now trying to make up some ground. Jufa's eventually got the ball across. It took a deflection. Jufa's got away again, and it's wide of Mark Schwartz's goal from Harry Kewell.
Great defending there by Colin Cooper. It would be a total mix-up there in Borough's defence. There was no talking there. Gareth just caught out of position there. But look at Colin Cooper just going over there.
Now a chance for Liverpool again. Away back Southgate as far as Murphy. This now is Juve. Juve put the cross in towards Heskey. Goalkeeper's come for it, lost it. And Pongola with his first touch of the match has put it over the crossbar.
Sometimes in a season, 3 points come from dogged determination, and that was the case on the final day of November in the first visit to the City of Manchester Stadium.
Swansea High came to the English Premiership with Crystal Palace initially. Now ball forward towards Anelka. Anelka and Mills it was, and the ball's come out as far as Sinclair. That wasn't a million miles away.
I think he got two hands on that, didn't he?
Borough have 5 wins at Main Road as it was. As Mendieta now with the cross. Ricketts is in the middle. Ricketts and the ball's in the back of the net. I think it was an own goal from Swansea High, but the vital statistic is that Middlesbrough, having been under the cosh for so long in this game, are one up at the City of Manchester Stadium.
That was a great piece of play. He balled into the near post, at least somebody tried to get there, and he put up the player off behind him. Swansea High scored an own goal.
Well, it was all about the run there of Juninho, the cross in, and G-High wrong-footed his goalkeeper. But once again, the combination of Juninho and Mendieta paying dividends, Billy.
Yeah, and I think it was the quality of the ball in.
So with the team now comfortably placed in 10th, the Carling Cup grabbed the early December attention. And you start to believe your name might be on the cup when you hold your nerve in a penalty shootout after 120 minutes of tension against the Toffees.
Leon Osman, a lot of pressure now on young shoulders. Leon Osman against Mark Schwarzer. Oh, Schwarzer saved it. Well, we said Leon Osman could make a name for himself this evening, and unfortunately he's going to make a name for himself as the man that missed in the penalty shootout. It's Gaithka Mendieta, who has played so well in this game and tested Nigel Martin earlier on. And Gaithka Mendieta, cool as you like, sends the goalkeeper the wrong way and sends Middlesbrough into the last 8 of the Carling Cup.
Newly promoted Portsmouth arrived at the Riverside struggling on their travels, but the cup exertions against Everton had a wearying effect on the Borough.
The bell ringer is out now and trying to raise their team. Feature of Fratton Park when you go there is the bell ringer as Nemeth has got ahead of the defender. Macaroni in the middle. Here's a chance now for me. Well, how did that one stay out? Senden. And that's hit the post. Well, I think the free kick's already been given. Oh, I thought Danny Mills had scored his first goal.
Oh, Michael. What a size. You know, he's done everything right. Nemeth made a great run down there. And all of a sudden, good speed in, and all of a sudden, Danny's in. Look, he's hit it too well, and it's come in off the bar. Oh, unbelievable chance.
We saw his penalty kick, and we saw how hard he hit that on Wednesday night. He hit that equally as hard, if not harder.
I thought that was in. I actually thought it was in. He hit it probably too well.
Well, it rattled the crossbar. By the look of it, it nearly broke the crossbar.
Yeah.
It was now 6 clean sheets in a row for Borough, and if the side could manage to keep Charlton at bay, then they would set a new club record.
Now Macaroni. And still, as to where Macaroni goes, he skipped past 2 yellow shirts. Ball across, might fall for Zenden now. Zenden's trying to cut the ball back across. Macaroni! Oh, great save by Dean Kiley. And the ball hasn't gone out yet. Eventually, Klaus Jensen it is that brings the ball clear.
That's what we're looking for. Macaroni deserved that chance all on his own because he was positive, he was creative, he was direct.
Ricketts is the furthest forward. He has Nemeth in support. Here is Michael Ricketts. Ricketts has done really well there. Oh, it's an excellent run by Michael Ricketts. Still, Ricketts continues to go. Well, that's what Middlesbrough needed.
The Carling Cup had now reached the quarter-final stage, and just before the festive period, Borough went to North London in search of a place in the last four. But sadly, the night got off to the worst possible start.
Now the ball spread by Dean Richards out to the Tottenham captain. This is Stephen Carr, and it's his crossing. Cooper away, and Anderton has opened the scoring for Tottenham on 67 seconds. Middlesbrough's defence that hasn't been breached in 7 consecutive games have conceded a very early goal here at White Hart Lane, and it's Darren Anderton that scored it. Borough do not have long if they want to stay in this competition for another year. Now Juninho, chance to break with Boateng into Zilad Nemeth. Boateng again, this is a good promising move. Might fall for Ricketts now, on the turn. Michael Ricketts has equalised for Middlesbrough with less than 5 minutes remaining of the Carling Cup quarter-final. The travelling fans are joyous. Michael Ricketts has capitalised on a mistake in the Spurs defence, and Borough are back on terms.
Well, this makes up for his miss in the first half here. It's great work by Boateng, good delivery into the box, gets a little bit of break here off Stephen Carr, the Spurs defender. Ball falls in his path, but he's still got plenty to do. The angle's pretty tight, but knocks it past Casey Keller. Back in the game now.
So we're into sudden death then. It's 4 each. To Rico to take the penalty kick now for Tottenham. Oh, it's come off the post. It wasn't a good penalty anyway. You can see the grin on Mark Schwartz's face, and now Borough have another opportunity. That was not a good kick, was it?
No, and he's dived the wrong way, Mark Schwarzer, you know, and Tariqa could just have rolled it into the empty net at that side. Doesn't, hits the post. Now, here goes again.
Frank Kedru. This, the kick that could take Borough into the last 4. Steve McLaren's side have been in one semi-final under him. That was the FA Cup for a place in the semi-final of Carling Cup. Frank just wants me to get on the edge of my seat a little bit further by...
The ball just won't settle down on the spot there.
Frank Kedru then, for a place in the semi-final. Yes! Frank Kedru has done it, Middlesbrough. Scenes of joy at White Hart Lane as Borough go through in the penalty shootout, 5-4.
So thanks to Frank, it would be Arsenal in the semi-final of the Cup. And after rain washed out the game at Birmingham, Borough were next in action on Boxing Day at Blackburn, and inspiration would come from Juninho.
Hamilton again now delivers the second corner, and the ball is in the back of the net. Blackburn Rovers are ahead within a couple of minutes. Got your strike partner Andy Cole on the bench along with Matt Jansen. Got big name strikers on the bench for Blackburn Rovers as Ricketts has just got ahead this time of Andy Todd. Michael Ricketts ball in the middle. This is Juninho. This is the equaliser. Half an hour played and Juninho has levelled it up for Middlesbrough. And it was a wonderful, wonderful run by Michael Ricketts. It was a good turn, a good ball. And look at the supporters from Teesside. They go wild. Brad Friedel's goal is breached. And Juninho, after half an hour, has made things level.
Excellent goal. I thought Ricketts has delayed the pass too long, but in the end it was a fantastic pass. Good little chip by Juninho. Probably Juninho's been our worst player, I think, in this half so far, but he's done the business here and equalised.
Opportunity now at the other end with Juninho. Mendieta's the player forward. Juninho opting to go alone. Had a shot! Oh, what a goal! Juninho has put Middlesbrough 2-1 ahead. It's his second goal of the match. It's his 4th goal of the season. And with the second half just 5 minutes old, Borough are ahead at Ewood Park.
Well, I've been giving Juninho a little bit of stick, but can't give him any stick for that because excellent goal. He came inside and just curled it into the bottom corner. Excellent goal.
Well, Brad Friedel beaten low to his right-hand side. Borough ahead after 50 minutes. And Juninho, who by his own very high standards has perhaps not had the best 2 games, is on the score sheet twice though. What a finish. Just curled it around the goalkeeper. You'd have to question the full-back. You know, the full-back let him come inside. Should always push him to the outside in situations like that now. If this ball falls to a red shirt, it could be curtains for Blackburn. Friedel comes in and they've equalised! Well, Blackburn Rovers have equalised at the death. Well, they put so much pressure on the Middlesbrough goal, and it seems that having the goalkeeper forward worked as well.
Free headers Babel again, I think they'll achieve him.
Marcus Babel scored his second goal. Brad Friedel did enough. And they've done it in injury time. It was a late equaliser for Blackburn Rovers. They've had so much pressure, and there we see it.
True free man now, see him in the 6-yard box too.
The final game of 2003 came with the visit of Manchester United to the Riverside. So often in recent seasons, these games have been rich in entertainment, but sadly this turned into a dour affair.
It's been a real low-key start to this game. The fans doing their best to try and rouse things with some festive music around the place as Manchester United look to attack again now. It's Fortune, and the ball has gone in, and Borough are behind on 13 minutes. It was the run by Mikael Silvestre and Quinton Fortune eventually.
He's gone with a little bit of disguise there. He's got to cross it and play with disguise. Gone onto his weaker foot and his right foot, and I think it's took a wicked deflection off maybe Danny Mills. I'm not quite sure it might be.
So 2003 ended with the Borough comfortably in 15th place on 21 points, but with the prospect of a Carling Cup semi-final against Arsenal to look forward to. The first month of 2004 would bring 3 encounters with the Gunners, but first, as is the tradition, the new year would start off with the FA Cup, and amongst the substitutes for the visit of Notts County would be another young Borough star of the future, James Morrison. There would be a debut in goal for the Australian, Brad Jones.
Boateng. Job has some space now over on the left-hand side. He's had a shot, you know, it's deflected in. Steve Mildenhall was beaten by his own player. I think it might have been Ian Richardson that finally put the ball past the goalkeeper. We'll have another look here. There's Boateng's ball into Joseph Job. It was decent control by the Cameroon international. And let's see this. Yep, it came off a Notts County player, Ian Richardson. Now Nemeth, it's his header, which might fall kindly for Zenden. 2-0, and surely Borough are going to go through to the 4th round now.
Stuart Downing is a player of rich promise, and after excelling on loan at Sunderland, the feeling was growing that Downing was about to show the Borough fans exactly what he was capable of. And on a chilly January night at the Riverside, Fulham felt the force of Borough's very own boy wonder.
Now Zenden. Here's Downing. Downing taking on De Gettu and beating him, getting the cross in. But Edwin van der Sar made a real mess of it with Zillard Nemeth looming. As the cross comes in now, and it's come now to Elias. Oh, another good save. It was an initial shot by Ugo Ehiogu. Well, Fulham will protest that it should never have been a corner kick, but it didn't matter, the kick was taken, and Borough ahead within 15 minutes. And what a wonderful start to the game. That was Ehiogu's strike, keeper made a good save. Downing though with this free kick.
Yes.
And the goalkeeper comes and he Loses out this time. Cahill battling, still won't come, and it is in the back of the net. Zilad Nemeth has done it. It's number 2 for Middlesbrough. Well, we said the second goal would settle the nerves. Edwin van der Sar came, he didn't collect it. And Zilad Nemeth, as he did down at Loftus Road earlier in the season, scores a second goal for Middlesbrough. The difference between now and then, Fulham had scored 3 that afternoon. They haven't looked like scoring this evening.
Little bit sloppy defensively from Fulham. Well done, Ugo. He's kept his feet, kept his composure.
Free kick comes in. It was blocked by Kidru, and on the turn, blocked by Mills.
I can't believe it.
And Fulham have got a goal back. Barry Hales, the substitute, has done it as we enter into stoppage time.
The stage was now set for the first encounter of 2004 with the Gunners, and round 1 went in emphatic fashion to the Wenger boys.
Borough have had a lot of practice of penalties recently in the Carling Cup against Everton and Spurs.
What price Henry to miss?
Well, Mark Schwarzer could really make a name for himself now, as Mills and Henry were involved in a little bit of, how should we put it, chat.
I think he just asked if we could buy a Renault Clio.
So, where's your vavavoom on this one? Mills, I think, just playing some gamesmanship. Henry versus Schwarzer, and he makes no mistake. Henry Perez around it. Henry had a go, and it's in the back of the net. And I think, in fact, it might have been an own goal from Frank Kidru. Certainly seemed to come off Frank Kidru. Ehiog was in the middle again, and Arsenal, that's a real hammer blow just ahead of the half-time interval.
Again, Mike, that was caused by the problem of having defenders on the line again, because you've got players that can sort of park themselves up in front of the goalkeeper.
Well, let's have a look. Who got the final touch? Well, Kidru definitely diverted it goal bound.
I don't agree with Southgate being on the line there, because if Southgate's not on the line, the Arsenal players can't be in there. They've got to be along this line. You know, they've got to hold the line somewhere there. I think, I think they're causing their own problems, to be fair.
Well, Kidru winning the ball back and
giving
the ball away. Now Thierry Henry, Kanu it is in the middle. It's come out to Perez. Now Kanu. Kanu's come last one. Still Kanu. Lundberg. And it's in the back of the net, off the post from Freddie Lundberg. Chance maybe for Macaroni. Goes down. And it's a penalty. And Macaroni scores. It's 4-1.
The visit of Leicester City attracted a crowd of just over 27,000. But those who stayed away missed a 6-goal encounter with the Foxes that left City boss Mickey Adams in a state of despair at some late defensive blunders.
Walker's kick falls out now to Janino. This has got to be an opportunity. And Janino it is that's opened the scoring. It was all about the mistake for Ian Walker that Joseph Judd closed down. And Janino has scored his 5th goal of the season. And it's given Middlesbrough a deserved 1-0 lead in the early stages of this game. Mills his ball forward, Job's there underneath it, Job goes down, penalty kick. Job against Walker, Walker saved it. Duffy sitting near post and it's in the net. Leicester City have equalised. And another chance and another goal. Leicester City are suddenly ahead. Davies needs to do some defending now though. Schwarzer has struggled to control it. That's going to be another one. Marcus Bent has added a 3rd goal for Leicester City. Davies and Schwarzer it was that have made the mistake at the back. Mills his ball forward. Zilad Nemeth with the header on. Chance for Macaroni through the middle. Macaroni has pulled one back for Borough. Well, it's a glimmer of hope in the dying moments of this game as Massimo Macaroni scores for the second successive game for Middlesbrough from the penalty spot against Arsenal, and now he's given, well, as we say, a glimmer of hope to Borough. Well, a couple of weeks ago, I witnessed Blackburn Rovers score with virtually the last header of the game against Middlesbrough. Could Borough do the same again? Nemeth it was that was trying to create problems in the Leicester City penalty area. They're clinging on now with everything. Boateng. His ball forward. Chance for Mendieta through the middle, maybe. Mendieta's ball across. Walker's missed it. It's an equaliser. Unbelievable. Massimo Macaroni has scored a third goal for Borough. And Borough back on terms at 3-3 with a wonderful comeback in the dying moments of this game.
Semi-finals are always big occasions, but how would Borough cope with the first leg at Highbury? The answer would be found in a terrific team display led by Juninho.
Segan.
Certainly opened up a bit of the game with a shot at one end, Mendieta, good block with Segan, and of course Arsenal then hitting Middlesbrough in the counter-attack. George Boateng tidying that one up.
Juninho, oh, it's come off the post. And straight back into the arms of Graham Stack. Well, we just mentioned the game was opening up, and here was the best chance of the game so far. Juninho started the move. Good play from George Boateng, and what a great shot from Juninho.
Well, Juninho picks that up in his own half here. He's inside the Middlesbrough half, and it is good link-up play with Boateng on the right-hand side.
Now Macaroni. Zenden again. Kadru's the player that's chasing. Keown should have this under control, but Kadru's won it back. Mendieta has Juninho in space now. What an opportunity, what a goal. Juninho has put Middlesbrough ahead in the first leg at Highbury. Well, we talked about how good it would be to take this game back to the Riverside at 0-0. Borough are in dreamland now as Juninho has opened the scoring on 52 minutes. And you can see what it means to him and the fans in that corner.
Well, we said it was a lively start to the second half, and that's certainly the case now. Very lively indeed. Little bit of mistake get Keown here, but Quadru does really well. Mendieta picks the ball up on the edge of the box, sees Juninho making a run down his outside, and picks him out with a lovely weighted ball.
Incredibly, just 4 days after the Carling Cup, it was back to Highbury again, this time in the FA Cup. But this time, it was a cup of little cheer for the travelling fans.
And this time, the ball is in the back of the net. Kadru's ball forward. Good header that by Michael Rickett. Job just got away from his man! It's the equalising goal, and Joseph Job has done it! Well, it was the immediate response that Steve McLaren and the Middlesbrough fans would have wanted. Joseph Job with his third goal of the season. And well, that will be a real hammer blow to Arsenal, but a wonderful, wonderful response from Middlesbrough.
Well, the strike partnership have produced the goods. Michael Ricketts and Joseph Job. It's a good free kick. Drew looks up. Deep ball, edge of the box, good leap by Ricketts, unmarked although, but this is great play by Joseph Job because he's still got a lot to do.
Bergkamp with the ball in, header down, Riggett it was away, Mike skillful for Lundberg. Second goal for Arsenal. Perez's corner, and there is the third goal. It is finally put in the back of the net, Freddie Lundberg claims it. In the death throes of Borough's FA Cup run for 2004. Bentley had a go and scores the fourth goal.
The fans always savour away wins in local derbies, and with Leeds United in the middle of a relegation battle, the Borough support would relish the Ellen Road outing.
Here's Macaroni. Zenden's gone through the middle, real opportunity! Paulo Zenden has scored the goal for Middlesbrough, and it's a lead really which the visitors have certainly deserved. The away fans behind that goal to go wild. The team celebrate, and Bolo Zenden has scored his second goal for the club.
That's wonderful football there. What about that for a ball from Macaroni? Just places it in. Terrific weight on the ball. And all Zenden's got to do is just get the ball on target. Wonderful goal.
Mendieta wins the ball back. Here's Dorivar. Mendieta's going through the middle, continuing to go. It's found its way out to Zenden. Here's Mendieta. Oh, it should have been 2-0. It should have been 2, and Gaeta Mendieta should have added the second.
But just the build-up to that. The build-up was magnificent. Terrific one-touch football. And as it comes in here, I mean, that's got goal written all over it.
Oh, a chance now for Job. The flag has stayed down. Joseph Job is through on Paul Robinson. This could be a second. Joseph Job's gone round the goalkeeper, and Joseph Job has scored number 2 for Middlesbrough. Surely now the game is beyond Leeds United. Surely it's 3 vital Premiership points for the Borough now, and Joseph Job, the substitute, has scored the second goal.
Well, Steve McLaren sent him on to do the job, kill the game, and he's just done that absolute wonderful finish. Do you know what? This is harder than what it looks. Because just look, there's no one near him. He's got so much time. He's going down in the face of the goalkeeper, and that's a skill in itself, just to take it around him. So I mean, look, he's got so much time, and he's thinking, "Go on, what do I do here? Do I shoot? Do I chip him?" But he's got the composure just to take it around him and just slide it into the back of the net.
Ian Hart.
I think the second half performance has been excellent.
Borough need to continue this performance into Tuesday night. What a ball that was to pick out Bolo Zenden. Michael Ricketts drifted into an offside position. Now it's George Boateng through the middle. Maybe Michael Ricketts now, he goes down. Penalty kick. Well, Paul Robinson took the big striker down, and a real opportunity now. And it's a red card for Paul Robinson. Scott Carson against Michael Ricketts. This could be Borough 3-0 up. And Ricketts strikes the ball home. And it's been a really good afternoon's work for Borough now. You have to have some sympathy for Leeds and Paul Robinson there.
The Riverside Stadium has staged many memorable games since its opening in 1995, and an addition was about to be made on the evening of Tuesday the 3rd of February 2004, as Borough went head-to-head with Arsenal with a prize at stake, a place in the Carling Cup final.
Ball comes in from Zenden. Kidru, it is on the back post. Coroni, was it over the line? It was blocked by Graham Stack. It was Massimo Macaroni with another wonderful opportunity. Arsenal look to counter-attack now with David Bentley going through the middle, and Mark Schwartz has come to collect that one. There were some worries just for a moment from Arsenal's point of view. It might have crossed the line, but Graham Stack seems to have kept them in this game. Here's Juninho again now, trying to find Macaroni. Oh, Keown has missed it again, and that has got to be a sending off for Martin Keown, because he brought Massimo Macaroni down. It was the final man, and it is a red card against Martin Keown. Arsenal are down to 10 men. Still out of your picture. Steve McLaren is trying to bring Joseph Job on. Scorer of a goal, of course, at the weekend. Will he be on for Massimo Macaroni, who might have a hand in creating something now? Zenden through the middle. Zenden has scored! Middlesbrough are 2-0 up in this cup tie, and Bolo Zenden has added to his goal of the weekend. And surely now, with only 22 minutes left, Borough are on their way to Cardiff for the Carling Cup final. Well, the Riverside has gone absolutely mad. That's the goal we needed.
Beautifully taken as well. Lovely through ball here. Just dinks it over the goalkeeper. As you say, Michael, Cardiff, here we come. I cannot see Arsenal getting back into this game. Middlesbrough look as if they're still going to make the substitution with Joseph Job. Yes, I think that was a delightful little finish there by Middlesbrough.
Bentley it is that launches that corner. It's come off the post. Arsenal have got one back now. Now, here is Juninho. To Job. Oh, a real opportunity. Barnaby went down, stayed on his feet. Oh, he scored! Stuart Barnaby has done it for Middlesbrough. Surely now this game is beyond doubt. Stuart Barnaby has scored what could prove to be the most vital goal of Borough's season. Well, we spoke about him being 33-1 to score the last goal in this game, and my God, has he gone up, and maybe he's done it. What a goal this was.
Oh, you'd be wishing you'd have pound on this one. It's built up down the left-hand side again. Juninho, who for me has been the man of the match, comes inside beautifully there. Graham Stack diving one way, young Stuart Barnaby knocks the ball into the bottom corner the other way. Great play by the youngster, composure.
With the cup final place booked, attention swung back to the Premiership, and the question ahead of the visit of Blackburn was, would there be for Borough a cup hangover?
Instead now against Rigger. He's just got ahead of the man, and Mills it is coming back on an excellent challenge, and now suddenly Blackburn Rovers have scored the goal. And it's Blackburn Rovers that are ahead through John Stead, combining with Paul Gallagher. It was the challenge of Danny Mills which has given Blackburn Rovers this opening goal of the game, and after such a good start by Middlesbrough, real disappointment to go behind.
A chance to regain lost pride would come quickly for the Borough with a visit to Old Trafford, and this would prove to be the ideal tonic, as the travelling supporters would witness one of the best games of the season.
Here's Zenden. Now Kidru in some space. Has Downing outside of him. Kidru went for it, came off the crossbar, and that's the opening goal of the game, and it's Juninho that's done it. It all came about from Frank Kidru's shot initially, which Tim Howard didn't get a hold of, and Steve McLaren's side are ahead at Old Trafford.
That's an absolute fantastic strike from Frank Kidru. So much pace on it, I think took Tim Howard completely by surprise. He's got some kind of hand on it, I think, and it's ricocheted on the bar. And Juninho, I think, is our top goal scorer, is there with his predatory instincts again to finish it off.
Riggott and Southgate forward. Corner kick was taken short. Comes in this time. Juninho! Oh, it's two! Middlesbrough are 2 up against Manchester United, and Juninho has scored his second goal, and it all came about from quick thinking at the corner kick. And would you believe it, if it was good before, it suddenly got much, much better.
We're talking about Juninho's goal scoring instinct and his poaching instinct. What a terrific run, well worked corner set piece, good delivery, and Junie just stealing in there at the near post. And it's unbelievable, 2-0 up. It's took a slight deflection, but you know, he's gambled in there. He's got across Nicky Butt and a free header, really.
Now Giggs. And Giggs' cross in, Saha's free, and Van Nistelrooy has put Manchester United right back in it. As the cross comes in towards Ruud van Nistelrooy, Giggs has just got ahead of Mills, and Giggs has equalised for Manchester United. Now Doriva has some space. He's going to strike one, maybe. No, into Joseph Job. Joseph Job hits it! Joseph Job has scored! It's Middlesbrough 3, Manchester United 2. And you can see what it means to the whole side. Joseph Job, something from nothing, and what a goal to put Middlesbrough back in the ascendancy.
What do I know about football? I just said how we were going to settle for a draw. Best bit of football we've produced in the last, since Mendieta's been on. Kept the ball well, probed away. Great strike by Joseph Job. Played it, and not just the strike, the part he played in the build-up as well was fantastic. A little bit of luck there. Great hit, right in the back corner. Terrific goal by Joseph.
With fortune. Now with Ronaldo taking on Mills this time, and beating Mills and getting the ball right across. Ruud van Nistelrooy, Charlie O'Shea, what a block by Gareth Southgate.
What It's an unbelievable block by Gareth Southgate. Great skill by Ronaldo, great ball in. Nistelrooy does ever so well to bring it back, and you think he can't miss, but you know, he never gives up, Gareth. It's one of the blocks of the season, that the main goal of the season. I think that's block of the season.
Since the turn of the year, Bowler Zenden has been producing some inspired football, and a local derby at St James's Park will provide another example of Zenden's quality.
Mendieta as Boateng and Juninho, and Boateng continued his run forward. Oh, Zenden's in some space now, and Zenden's through, and Zenden has scored! What a goal from Bolo Zenden! It looked like the initial opportunity had escaped him. And what a wonderful goal from Bolo Zenden. He's already picked up an award this week for the Premiership goal of the month of January. There's your contender for February.
That was an absolute beauty, absolute beauty. Even before the ball comes to me, you say, well, this is good football, well played. Well, a little give and go here, look at that. Juninho give and go, the ball there. As the ball came into him, I thought his first touch took him too far away. Look, he's going away from goal. But what about that for a strike? What about that for a goal? The give and go with Juninho and Boateng was class. His first touch, disappointing. But if you get a finish like that, who needs a good first touch?
It's broken now though for Newcastle and Laurent Robert. Craig Bellamy has gone through the middle. Shearer's getting forward as well. And there's a mix-up between Ehiogu and Schwarzer. And Craig Bellamy has scored the equaliser. And it's come about due to some poor defending by the Middlesbrough goalkeeper and centre-back. A really disappointing way to let Newcastle United back into this game.
I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. Look at that. What, 1, 2, 3, 4 bodies in there. And all that is lack of communication. Lack of communication. Craig Bellamy's not even anywhere near it.
Cross comes in. Goalkeeper gets a punch on it towards Juninho. Southgate making the clearance, and it's a penalty kick against Gareth Southgate. A penalty kick. Southgate's challenge on Ambrose. And with less than 10 minutes remaining, well,
I think he's gone for it. I think he's gone for it there. I think Ambrose, maybe if there's been slight connection there, but there's only one thing in Ambrose's mind there, as the ball's going in there. He's gone for a penalty kick. He's played for that.
Shearer hasn't scored in 7. Newcastle United have the penalty kick. They've been awarded 7 in the Premiership this year. That's the most of any club. They've converted 6 of them to date. And Shearer has done it.
All attention would now switch from the Premiership to Borough's attempt to create history in the Carling Cup final. Thousands of fans made the long journey to Wales, and with the roof closed on the Millennium Stadium, the atmosphere was electric. This would prove to be Borough's date with destiny.
Zenden's made a really good run, and it's a really good early opportunity for Bolo Zenden. Joseph Job has opened the scoring within 2 minutes for Middlesbrough. And we talked about what happened last time Middlesbrough in a cup final when it was an early goal against. But Borough are in dreamland in the early stages of this game. It's them that have fired the bullet to Bolton Wanderers, and it's Middlesbrough who are ahead.
Shocking defending by Bolton, but a fantastic start by Middlesbrough here. Mendieta picks up a lovely ball inside the full-back. Zenden, not a good first touch. I thought he took it too wide, but he whizzes it across the six-yard area. Joseph Job, who's been playing superbly well of late, knocks it in for a fantastic start for Middlesbrough Football Club.
It's Juninho onto Mendieta. Job's made the run into the middle. Ball finds its way to Joseph. Job goes down. Penalty kick. It's a penalty kick with 5 minutes played. And this is a real opportunity. The Bolton players now surround our referee, Mike Riley. Per Franson, JJ Okocha, Ivan Campo and Nicky Hart are leading the protest, but Middlesbrough have a penalty kick.
This looks an extremely harsh penalty given against Bolton Wanderers here. It's played into Joseph's feet. Is it Emerson Tom? Maybe a touch in the clumsy side. Yes, that's a clumsy tackle. He's took up a bad position. He's got his body at the wrong angle to make the tackle there. Joseph tries to roll him, goes down, and well, Emerson Tom's only got himself to blame. It's a little bit on the harsh side. The Bolton Wanderers players very, very unhappy. But we've got a chance now, Zenden, to take this penalty kick. What a start this could be.
Zenden scores 2-0. Unbelievable. Now Bolton bring the ball away with Kevin Nolan in towards Davies now, just trying to get ahead of Southgate, looking for some support, went on his own, and Bolton Wanderers have scored. Kevin Davies has got one back after a mistake by Mark Schwarzer. Back in towards Nolan, might still fall. Franson has a go, it's come off the post. That's a great save by Mark Schwarzer. That was a really, really good stop, and you can see what it means to him and his teammates. Franson nearly made it 2-2.
Oh, well done, Mark Schwarzer, because this, for where I'm sitting, looks as though it's going to end up in the back of the net. It's bouncing about all over the place. Franson gets a boot. I'll tell you, Schwarzer got a tip to the first one, I'm sure he did.
You're watching the Borough match on Borough TV Extra as Juninho continues to go, and still Juninho. Mendieta now, and Mendieta's shot was blocked. Well, what a block it was. We have 4 minutes, a minimum of 4 minute stoppages then at the end of this second half of the Carling Cup final. It's Middlesbrough 2, it's Bolton 1. Kid Roo has threaded a wonderful pass out to Juninho. Here's Michael Ricketts now.
Oh,
right
my goodness.
to the belly of Jussi Jääskeläinen. Borough are 2-1 up with seconds remaining in the Carling Cup final, and it's Juninho going through against Bruno Ngotti, and still Juninho goes, and Simon Charlton in the
must be it, must be Mr. Riley. How long? That's it.
There is the final whistle. Middlesbrough are the champions of the Carling Cup 2004. Bolo Zenden's second goal proving so important. You see what it means in the North Stand to the fans. You see what it means to Juninho as well. Frank Kid Roo has gone to ground. Mendieta in his first season at the club, 128 years without a trophy. It's finally over.
After all the emotions of Cardiff, a rearranged fixture at Birmingham City was hardly what was required just 3 days later, and the performance would reflect that this was a game too far.
Good free kick taken. Hughes cuts the ball back. There's Forsell, and it is in the back of the net. Birmingham City are ahead. Zenden trying to push and shove, and it's Savage that hits it. And what a goal by Robbie Savage. Well, it was a good free kick, and Robbie Savage, who's created so many problems for Middlesbrough, has made it 2-0 to the home side on the evening.
No, I can assure you, Steve McClaren won't accept performances like this.
Mills's ball was aimed towards Macaroni. Nemeth was following up. It's a goal.
Brilliant goal.
Brilliant goal from Zilad Nemeth, and suddenly Middlesbrough from being 2 down, maybe now, maybe just now, it's game on.
I certainly hope so. He's took that goal absolutely brilliantly, he has. And it's just a big long ball up there. Route 1 stuff. knocked down, he's followed it in there, good first touch, and bang, bottom corner. Mike Taylor, no chance whatsoever. Maybe that's the spark we need.
Johnson's ball in, here's Borsell, what a chance. And Borsell has made it 3-1, that's no doubt, it's his goal.
The Cup heroes made their Riverside return on the 9th of March in a home game with Spurs, and Slovakian international Zilard Nemeth would turn out to be an inspired substitute.
Mendieta brings the ball forward for Middlesbrough now. Here's Joseph Job maybe, and he goes down. And it's going to be a penalty kick. It will be Macaroni against Keller this time. This could be a very important goal. Massimo Macaroni has taken up, and he's saved it, Keller. Well, Massimo Macaroni has seen his penalty kick saved by Keller. Now Nemeth going on the chase, and I think he could win this race ahead of Dean Richards. Here's Zilard Nemeth now. It's 2-2 for the Slovakian, and it's Middlesbrough who are 1-0 up against Spurs at the Riverside. It's the goal that we've been crying out for in this game, and Zilard Nemeth has scored it as he did 6 days ago.
You beauty, you absolute beauty. You've got to hand it to Zilard Nemeth on that occasion there. A lot of players going to give it up. He was persistent, he chased it down, and he made that goal all by himself. There you see it here, he's just chased it on, sprinted, the keeper's in two minds, got the touch past him, and just tucked it into the net.
And so to the Valley. The visits to Charlton are notoriously difficult, and Borough would find little luck in this trip to the capital.
Job continues to go, just shrugged off the challenge of Holland. Here's Mendieta, and still Mendieta. Now Zenden in some space, and Zenden shoots, hits the post, and it's come back out as far as Mendieta, but Charlton are able to bring the ball away. We've seen Bolo Zenden score some wonderful goals already for Borough this season from that sort of angle, and he went pretty close there. Possession nearly given away again, but Holland did enough to find Jensen. Referee wave play on. Luke Young has joined the attack now. Carlton Cole forward. Young has gone on his own. Blocked by Southgate. Kadru missed his kick, and it's fallen for Di Canio. The ball was touched back, and that's the goal. And Matt Holland has opened the scoring for Charlton Athletic with 25 minutes played.
It's something of a rarity for a goalkeeper to concede 3 goals and yet win glowing praise and the Man of the Match award. But that was the case for Mark Schwarzer in the Riverside encounter with Birmingham that was terrific entertainment.
And forward by Greening, Macaroni maybe going on the chase here. It was just Matthew Upson getting in the way, but Janino picked up the second ball. Here's Mendieta in some space, he's hit it and he scored! Laika Mendieta has opened the scoring for Middlesbrough after just 4 minutes of the game. And what a brilliant start for Borough. Mike Taylor beaten in less than 5 minutes.
Wonderful start, absolute wonderful start. But you've got to take your hat off to Macaroni there. I said Borough being adventurous. I mean, this is Macaroni just slicing it into the far corner. But for me, it all started at Macaroni. The ball was up into there. He won it. Janino getting knocked down. He's played a perfect weighted ball into the path of Mendieta, and I'll tell you what, no keeper in the country would have saved that. Absolute inch perfect. Look, he's just got his feet sorted out, sorted his feet, and just slung it into the back corner.
Right back in the top half of the Premiership table, 7th ahead of this game. Could go as high as 4th were they to win here this afternoon. Now Mendieta just got ahead of Granger that time. Macaroni's in the middle. Mendieta continues to go. Macaroni makes it 2-0 to Middlesbrough. 21 minutes played, and Mendieta and Macaroni are the goal scorers that send the Riverside wild. It was all about the run of Mendieta again, but it was a poacher's goal from the Italian.
Great goal. Initially it came from Joseph Job, challenging, won the ball. Great little ball down to Mendieta. And here we go here. He's just bided his time, waited till it's right, and that's a perfect ball into the box here.
Now, here's Lazaridis as Birmingham City try and get one back quickly. It's with Forsell now. Had a go, and they have got one back quickly. Mikael Forsell has made it 2-1 with his 13th Premiership goal of the season. And there's, great save from Schwarzer from Lazaridis' header. Well, for all the world, I thought that was going to be an equalising goal. Second corner in quick succession. It's Mendieta again. Juninho, Macaroni and Mills at the back post. Southgate! It's 3-1 and it's Gareth Southgate's first goal of his Premiership season in what's been an amazing first half an hour of this game. Some appeals from the Borough fans for handball, but Taylor plays the ball in towards Forsell. Trapped by Ehiog, and Ehiog's gone down. Forsell cuts the ball back across the face of the goal, and surely Brian Hughes, what a good save from Mark Schwarzer. A third excellent save in this game. Birmingham City really should have been 3-2. Here's Lazaridis now. Clements, Forsell, twisting and turning, another good save, and Morrison it is, and that's 3-2 suddenly. Well, Mark Schwarzer just couldn't hold on to it. Don't really want this to end. Chance maybe now for Macaroni. Taylor was the defender who was coming across. Cut inside, Macaroni! What a goal! Massimo Macaroni has made it 4-2 with the most superb of finishes.
Well, I said he's a confidence player. I said he's in fire. He's relishing this match here this afternoon. And after the great little spell that Birmingham have had, Borough would have been in edging half-time. But I tell you what, that is an absolute peach. That is a wonderful strike and as good as you'll get.
Well, look at the Birmingham City fans, even they're celebrating.
As the ball comes out here, I tell you what, he's going nowhere. He's going nowhere. You think you get across into the box. He's curled a wonderful ball into the top corner.
The ball delivered by Granger again. Forsell it is, it's come off the post and it's in the back of the net. Long ball forward, pumped forward by Danny Mills. Ricketts won the header. And maybe a chance for Nemeth as the defender has slipped. And here's Zillard Nemeth. Still Nemeth, and he has scored. It's 5-3, and it's 3 goals in 4 games for Zillard Nemeth. And surely now that has sealed it for Middlesbrough. It was the defensive error which has led Borough to score the 5th goal of the game. And surely now that's settled some nerves.
The final game of March would see Borough travelling to Everton, and a determined approach would pay a late dividend.
Now Everton look to break again. As Thomas Rosiński has some space. Ricketts the player defending, it's Rosiński. And Thomas Rosiński has scored what could prove to be a decisive goal. Mendieta. His cross in, flicked by Nemeth. Job it is. And the ball has ended up in the back of the net.
The opening game in April was a clear case of the Carling Cup final Part 2, as Bolton Wanderers came looking for revenge, but Borough were at this stage thoroughly enjoying the end-of-season run-in.
This would be sort of Frank Kadru range. It is Zenden that hits it, and it just stretched wide of Jussi Jääskeläinen's post. It will be a corner kick. Called that one exactly right.
Yeah, it was a good strike. There's a naughty little bounce just before goes to the goalkeeper. Jääskeläinen there, he's made a good save, low to his left. That's a good strike. It's a really awkward save to make that, and the keeper's done well, but it's a good moment from Bono Zenden.
Ball comes in near post this time, and it's an own goal, and it's gone in. Middlesbrough are ahead. Well, it was a terrible own goal from Bolton Wanderers. Zillard Nemeth, who played for Slovakia in midweek in a 1-1 draw against Austria in Bratislava. But now it's Macaroni, has support from 3 red shirts. Here's Mendieta, goes past one, it might come to Greening! It's 2-0! Jonathan Greening with his first goal of the season. He's been in and out of the Middlesbrough Middlesbrough starting lineup, and Steve McLaren selected him this afternoon, and he's rewarded his manager with a vital second goal for Middlesbrough.
Again, it was good football, wasn't it? Nemeth this time releasing Macaroni, intelligent pullback. Good play from Mendieta, because it was an awkward ball for him to control. He's managed to get hold of the ball, go past the defender, get the shot, and the rebound came out to Greening, and he still had a little bit to do, because I think there was a Bolton defender on the line, but it's a good finish.
Colin Cooper has been a terrific servant to the Borough, and the hectic Easter programme will give Coops another chance to move closer to his 400th Borough appearance, with a start at Chelsea.
It will be Mendieta though. Goalkeeper's made a save. Had to scramble across the goal to push it clear from Gaithka Mendieta's free kick. But Marco Ambrosio keeps his side in it.
It's a great shot, isn't it? He's caught it well. Great save, great shot. He's really got the curve. It's low enough, isn't it? It's going right into that top corner.
Four games without defeat, and momentum was building in the attempt to match Borough's best ever Premiership finish. And with Juninho in the mood to sparkle, the Riverside was set for another 3-point display.
Here's Mills into Macaroni. The flag has stayed down. Macaroni into Nemeth now. Nemeth touched it back to Juninho, and that's the opening goal of the game. It was a wonderful move. Southampton will protest that an offside decision should have been given, but Juninho has scored his 9th goal of the season, and it's Middlesbrough who have taken the deserved lead here at the Riverside.
Fantastic goal, terrific link-up, great combination. Massimo, Nemeth and Juninho, there's your front three combining. Near post ball, and Juninho's finished it beautifully in the top corner.
Van's header falls nicely for Kadru. A couple of people slipping, and a chance maybe for Macaroni now, trying to get ahead of Van. Here is Massimo Macaroni, might come out to Nemeth, 2-0! Well, the second goal had seemingly been coming, Middlesbrough were threatening, and now the possibility is they could run riot as the crowd applaud the second goal here at the Riverside. Southampton have never really been at the races in this game, and they were all over the place here again. Kidru, still Frank Kidru, continue to go, maybe a chance now for Macaroni, 3-0, and Massimo Macaroni has got the goal which he was threatening throughout the first half. Credit to Frank Kidru, who started the move as well, but once again Southampton defensively were very poor.
Awful defensively, but in fairness he's deserved that all afternoon. He's been a constant threat, he's worked every side for the team, and it's a terrific first touch finish.
Well, Delap it was that was chasing Kidru. Somehow the ball found its way to Massimo Macaroni, who's deadly in those positions. Comes in, and it was Mills that won the ball for Middlesbrough. Goalkeeper's come a long way, not quite got there, and it's in the back of the net this time from James Beattie. And Southampton have one back, and it is the Southampton captain who has scored the goal, as he did here last season, scoring twice.
With confidence high and 5 games left, Borough were about to hit a setback in an unlikely venue. Wolverhampton Wanderers were facing up to relegation, but the Wolves still had some bite.
Here's Newton again. Now Mark Clyde, who passed a late fitness test on his knee to play in this match. Here he is in possession, and it's his cross in. Mills, and that's the opening goal of the game, and it's Cole Court. Naylor's long throw in, Echiog with the header. Cameron is on the turn, and it's 2-0. Well, it was an excellent finish in the end from Henri Camara.
It was hard not to feel disappointed after the Molineux setback, but Midland's opposition gave Borough a chance to get back on track with the arrival of Aston Villa. Unknown at the time was the fact that this would prove to be Juninho's final game for a club that he had graced so wonderfully.
Now Zenden, and still Bolo Zenden goes. Shot was blocked by Jonsson, came out as far as Boateng, and Boateng's hit one.
Where did George get that from? What a strike.
Well, Sorensen just had to claw it over the crossbar from George Boateng, the former Villa player.
I mean, this is a decent strike as well, but it's on target. And I don't know where George has put. What a strike that is, going right in the top corner. Fantastic save by Sorensen.
Here's Joseph Job in some space. What a goal! Joseph Job has put Borough ahead at the Riverside. Lovely turn, lovely strike, lovely goal.
I'll tell you what, again, it started all the way from the back. Mark Schwarzer again with that strike. We've picked Mendy out. We haven't just hit it aimlessly up the park. We've got the freedom. He's got it in the jar. I don't know if Joseph sliced it a little bit, but it's ended up in the top corner.
Villa have a free kick. Header on by Barry. And it's gone in the back of the net, and it's an immediate equaliser. And it's Gareth Barry. Now, here's a real opportunity to counter-attack. It's with Juninho. As Job one way, Macaroni the other. Job to take on Delaney, perhaps. Come out as far as Zenden. What a fine save it was.
Great save by Sorensen. He certainly earned his corner this afternoon. That's 4 or 5 times now he's pulled off great saves.
Well, good shot. Great save, though. Now, Zenden. Will it be one final flourish from the likes of Job or Macaroni? Maybe Juninho. Still Juninho goes. Try to curl one.
That's Rooney's best strike of the days. Got himself half a yard, just didn't quite curl it enough.
Here's De La Cruz. Villa to cause some last second heartbreak. It's still De La Cruz. Goalkeeper's made a save, and Crouch it is that's come in to score what I'm sure will be a winner. Peter Crouch, the substitute.
With games running out, it was destination Anfield for the opening game in May, but it would be the Kop of the travelling fans who had something to celebrate.
Liverpool have a penalty kick in the very early stages of this second half with just 3 minutes played. And he scored the goal. Mark Schwarzer just couldn't get on the end of it. It was in off the post in the end, but Liverpool are ahead. Heskey. Chance maybe now for Owen, and here's Heskey. And that's 2-0.
And so to the final home game of the season, as Manchester City are the opponents, as Borough look to round off the Riverside campaign with a win.
Zenden has played a lovely ball there in towards Macaroni. Dunn it is that's come across. Macaroni's got ahead of Dunn now. He's got Job in the return for, and he's got in his own, and he's scored a wonderful goal. Well, that shows what Massimo Macaroni can do. He had Job to aim for, and he had Nemeth to aim for, but he went by himself, and he's put Middlesbrough 1 up on 7 minutes. Now Mendieta. Pushed it back to Mills again, and it's Mills' cross in. Job it is with the header. Here's Nemeth. That's 2-0. Well, it was Zilad Nemeth in the end. He looked up, I think maybe he was expecting a flag against him, but it's Middlesbrough who have the second goal after 31 minutes.
A fantastic goal. Great link up between the front two. I'm not sure who played the ball in from the right-hand side. Was it Danny Mills or was it Mendieta? Danny Mills. And Joseph just peeled off good again. Zilad Nemeth got in between the full-back and centre-back, and striker's goal.
Now Mendieta trying to break. 2 blue shirts were there, and he went down, and there's a chance maybe to break for Bosfeldt. In towards one shot, and one shot it is that's had a shot. And Manchester City have a goal.
The final game of the season was played on a sweltering afternoon at Portsmouth, and Borough certainly felt the heat.
Hans Berkovic, the former West Ham and Manchester City player. Still Isle Berkovic now. Ball through the middle, and here's a chance, and there's the opening goal of the game. And it's that man, Yakubu, who's done it again for Portsmouth. He's scored so many important goals for them this season, 12 in the Premiership, and it's unlucky for Borough. That's number 13. Now Yakubu trying to get ahead of Mills, and Yakubu has this time, and he goes down, and it's a penalty kick against Danny Mills. And Schwartz have got a hand on it, but Yakubu scored. Here's Greening in his 100th Borough start this afternoon. And he's got the better of Taylor that time. Into Mendieta. Borough just seem to have steadied the ship slightly in the last few moments. It's Zenden that hits it! What a fantastic goal! Well, Steve McLaren changed things around for Middlesbrough, and it's paid dividends virtually immediately, because Bolo Zenden, having been switched into the centre of midfield, has got the goal back that Borough desperately needed. Echiog underneath that one, and a chance maybe now for Yakubu. Turn inside, and this time they have scored. Berkovic again. Berkovic has this time played Yakubu in. He went out onto the wing that time, and it's Taylor's shot. And it's Sheringham's goal. Taylor. Here's Yakubu. Well, perhaps that was inevitable. It's 5-1, and it's another goal from Yakubu. And not the way Steve McLaren would have wanted to end this season.
So season 2003-2004 came to an end with the team in 11th place with 48 points. The Player of the Year award went to George Boateng, who was a model of consistency in the midfield. The Young Player of the Year was Stuart Downing, who held rich promise of great days to come. Overall, Cup success dominated the season. The FA Youth Cup triumph underlined the fine work being undertaken by the Academy to find the stars of the future. But the abiding memory of this season came on February the 29th, 2004, as Gareth Southgate became the first captain in the club's history to hold a major trophy. Europe will be the next adventure, but season 2003-2004 will always be remembered as the season Borough became winners at last.